Have you ever stopped to wonder how a country actually sells its military hardware? Everything from massive naval ships and fighter jets all the way down to surplus rifles. Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on a very specific kind of government agency that does just that. Right, so let's jump right into that question. It's a huge logistical challenge, right? You have this massive domestic defense industry, and you want to sell its products on the world stage. How do you streamline that whole incredibly complex process? Well, that brings us to Pakistan's Defense Export Promotion Organization, or as it's known, DEPO. So what exactly is DEPO? I mean, the name pretty much gives you a big clue. Defense Export Promotion Organization. But its role is way more than just marketing. It's really a critical piece of Pakistan's national, industrial, and frankly, strategic puzzle. Let's break down what that actually means. So here's the bottom line. DEPO is the single official government agency whose whole job is to market and coordinate the sale of all of Pakistan's defense products to the rest of the world. If a country wants to buy Pakistani military gear, they go through DEPO. And let's be super clear here. This isn't some private company or loose group of arms dealers. Nope. DEPO is a core part of the government itself, operating directly under the Ministry of Defense Production. And that gives everything it does the official backing of the state. Now, an organization like DEPO doesn't just pop up out of thin air. To really get why it exists, we've got to rewind a bit and look at the huge industrial machine it was created to represent. And this is an industry that's been in the making for over half a century. You see, the groundwork was laid way back in 1951 with the Pakistan ordnance factories. Over the next 50-plus years, this massive industrial base grew and grew, mainly to supply the country's own pretty large armed forces. So DEPO's job today is to take that entire portfolio of products, all that capability, and find new customers for it around the globe. Okay, so you've got this huge, sprawling, complex industry. How on earth does DEPO manage it all? Well, their whole strategy really comes down to one simple but honestly very powerful idea. And this quote from them just says it all, doesn't it? Instead of some international buyer having to figure out which of the dozens of companies or government departments to talk to, DEPO makes it easy. They are the single point of contact, a one window to get you access to everything. And this one window thing, it covers both sides of the coin. It represents the big, state-owned public companies that are really the backbone of the industry, but it also represents the growing number of private companies that are making a name for themselves with high-quality and competitively priced gear. DEPO is the voice for all of them. A one-window approach sounds great, but how do you get global buyers to actually come to that window? Well, DEPO's solution is pretty smart. You create a giant, centralized marketplace, a massive international event designed to show off everything Pakistan can do. And that event is called IDEAS, the International Defense Exhibition and Seminar. It's this huge expo they hold every 2 years in Karachi, and it's really DEPO's main stage for putting the entire Pakistani defense industry on display for a global audience. Now, what's really fascinating here is that this expo isn't just some big shopping mall for weapons. It's designed to do more. It's about fostering deeper relationships, exploring joint ventures, talking about outsourcing, and building long-term collaborations. It's about creating industrial partnerships, not just making a quick sale. All right, so we've covered the what and the how. Now let's get into the who. Who are the major players in this industry that DEPO represents, and what kind of stuff are we actually talking about here? And as you can see, the range is just huge. You've got the Pakistan Ordnance Factories, which is a total powerhouse for anything land-based. Munitions, arms, you name it. Then for the naval side of things, there's the Karachi shipyard. For air systems, you have companies like the Precious Engineering Complex. And then there are these comprehensive providers like JIDS, which offer solutions that cut across all three domains. It's a real full-spectrum industry. But it's not all just about the latest and greatest shiny new hardware. And this is a part of DEPO's job that I find fascinating. They're also kind of a national surplus store. They manage the sale of obsolete and excess stock, and we're talking about everything from old artillery guns and confiscated rifles to spare parts from retired aircraft. It really is the whole spectrum, from brand new to used to even repairable. So all of this leaves us with a final bigger question. In today's incredibly competitive global defense market, DEPO's model is a really interesting case study. It shows one way a country can structure its entire effort. By being a promoter, a coordinator, and that single gateway, it's trying to give its whole national industry, both public and private,
one unified, powerful voice on the world stage.